Good morning, everybody. It is 8:25 a.m. It is August 23rd. Hope everybody had a good day yesterday. Yesterday, um, was short. I was short the SPY, and I took profit off on a lower daybreak, and then the market ripped back up, hit my stop, and I had a small profit. And then I was eyeing the short again, and all I was waiting for was Apple to hit VWAP. It just didn't. And then I was like, and it rolled over and it hit everything I was talking about yesterday. If we hit that weak low, it flushed straight down. But that's trading, right? The consolation was I did go long in crude, and crude is now up over like 220% or something like that for me. And I'm hoping it goes to 75.50 or 80 would be awesome. So you can't always catch everything, but I saw the opportunity in crude yesterday, so that's making me happy. Anyway, markets sold off yesterday, but you know what that was? If you look at structure, it was a much needed healthy correction. Okay? Stocks are rebounding today because Powell speaking. And currently, where is the ES at? The most traded price of the week. The most traded price of the week. That's exactly where it's at. Okay? So this was not a bearish move. Okay? It was not. It was just much needed correction. Okay? Market needed to pull back. Now, look, the liquidity who was short yesterday is getting their faces ripped off a little bit. And now if Powell says anything, which we all think cuts are coming in September, anything dovish, this market's going to take it and run with it. Okay? And we're going to probably hit all-time highs. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not a genie. I don't know what's going to happen. All right? But anyway, welcome today. Let's get into this today. My name is Stephen Gonzalez. I use volume profile and market profile to find structure in the market. And I use supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find my edge. Okay? Just in crude, I will show you in a little bit how those levels exactly I use them. Okay? And then, of course, I could take trades, right? So I did. If you take a look at my TikTok or my YouTube, I did upload that day trade I did the other day. You can check that out. You can see exactly why I entered that trade. Okay, one of my favorite setups. So check that out, and hopefully you guys subscribe to my channel. Okay, and set that alert. And if you enjoy my content, please give me a thumbs up or a like. As always, you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. And you can also follow me on TikTok. That's Gonzo719 Trader. Okay. So every day I do this. Today's the exception. I had to take my daughter to her summer camp. However, usually I do this 8:10 a.m. every day. All right. And you sit down, have a cup of coffee, listen, watch. I go over what happened the previous day. We go over what the market's doing now. We go over leaders and laggards, market news, economic calendar, upgrades, downgrades, daily charts, and then the main event, usually at 8:30, today will be later, is my analysis of the Nasdaq and the ES futures market. Okay, that gives me my game plan for today, and that decides if I'm going to use SPX options, if I'm going to trade the futures market or the QQQ of the SPY ETFs. That's at my disposal, right? Those are the vehicles. But we get the game plan, all right? Now, the game plan for yesterday worked out. I just happened to be in the trade, got nipped out, wanted to get back in, and then I don't chase so it went without me. All right, and then it had a nice drop. Okay, which was expected based on what I said yesterday. All right, based on what I said yesterday. All right, so without further ado, why don't we look at the futures watch list together and see what is going on. Who's the leader today? Ether. Ether. It's up 2.13%. Crude. Crude. Up 1.89%. Loving it. Loving it. Silver up 1.35. Bitcoin's up 1.06%. Nasdaq's up 0.79. Gold's up 0.72. ES up 0.52. Russell up 0.44. The Dow's up 0.39. 30-year bonds up 0.10. The dollar is pretty much flat, down 0.05. 10-year yields down 0.26. The VIX is at 16.91. Okay, down 3.65% with this buying that's been put in overnight. Okay, let's move on. Max 7 Plus. All right, now we got Coinbase. Now I'm really looking at my chops with Coinbase. All right, really look at my chops. But that is up 1.24%. Broadcom's up 1.23%. Nvidia, okay, Nvidia is at 125. It's up it's moving on me. 1.03%. Snowflake, they're moving around on me here. Snowflake actually got an upgrade today. Not a great one, but it did. It's moving around on me. Tesla up 0.95, Meta's up 0.83, Apple up 0.7. So the market's bouncing. AMD's up 0.70, Microsoft up 0.70, GE up 0.48, Netflix up 0.37, Google up 0.37, JP Morgan up 0.30, and Boeing up 0.27, and Berkshire Hathaway up 0.08. Okay. What was I going to mention? Oh yeah, Nvidia. I got to see the gamma levels today, but Nvidia hit its monthly flip point yesterday, which is 124. So 124 is the line in the sand between positive and negative gamma. Okay, positive and negative gamma. So we're staying in positive gamma. Now, I don't know what the monthly flip point is today. It could change. But if it is, it's all good. It's all good. This just is going to give NVIDIA more fuel coming up to earnings next week. Okay, I'm still want to ride the train of NVIDIA. People still want to be in that stock for earnings. Okay, so this is the moment people had yesterday. Could have bought at 124 for the earnings. Okay, just wanted to let you guys know that. All right, moving on. Top sector stocks here. Let's see here. Salesforce up 1.18, Qualcomm up 0.97, Eli Lilly up 0.41, Exxon and Chevron are up. I'm liking this. I currently took a nibble on Chevron, I think last week. A little nibble. It's at a key support level. And crude, that's why I got long in crude, is bottoming out. It's been sold off hard. Okay? And now it's time for crude to just get a reflexive bounce. It's going to just take all the shorts out. Okay? Doesn't mean it's going to go to the moon. All right? So Chevron, I'm liking. Energy. Okay? Exxon, Disney, Home Depot. All right? These are up. Laggard, Uber. Laggard, Uber. Let's go to the swing trade list. Who's leading the pack here? Workday. Workday up 4.23%. Ross up 5.97. Roku up 4.14. Chewy up 2.47. Baba, whoa, look at Baba, up 2.34. Hawaiian Electric, I believe they got an upgrade, up 2.33%. SoundHound up 2.03. Taiwan Semi up 1.84. MicroStrategies up 1.79. Lucid up 1.56. There's a bunch of little movers here. Gold Junior Miners up 1.54. Affirm up 1.37. GM up 1.21. Mara's up 1.13. I think that's Wayfair. Wayfair's up 1.12. ARC 1.11. Roku's, I know, holding in there. Lyft up 1%, 1.05. CrowdStrike up 1.104. ON up 1%, and then you're finishing up what Riot is the 1%ers. All right, let's go to the laggards here. Not many to talk about here. Las Vegas Sands down 1.68. Micron down 1.5. Paramount Global down 1.4, 1.43. All right. All right. Let's move on to the guts sectors. Almost said sectors. I don't know what that was about. Who's the leader? Well, I mean, technology and semis. Technology encompasses semis. So, but semis, if you break it down to the minutia, right? Semis leading the pack, up 0.91. That's usually a risk on. Okay. Technology up 0.86. Energy loving it, up 0.62. Discretionary up 0.60. Or everything's in the green. Everything's in the green. Okay. It's just a reflexive bounce. And part of my reel that I talked about, okay, I said the other day when FOMC minutes came out, generally when there's something selling off and you have news coming out, people like to de-risk. Okay. Who wants to hold the short bag when Powell's going to talk today? Right? So where are we at? The most traded price of the week. We're at the 50% retracement of yesterday's move. So that was not bearish. It was a correction. Okay? That was a correction. Now, let's go into economic calendar. All right, market news. All right, let's do it. Give me one sec while I pull all that up. All right. What do we got today? All right, 10 a.m. Fed Chair Powell, Jackson Hole speech. I'm gonna have that. If I can have it streaming, I'm gonna have it in my ear. Okay. New home sales at 10 a.m. as well. It's not really gonna mean much. Fed Chair Powell is gonna be the main attraction there. So I will be listening. Okay. If he is dovish, woof. We'll see what this market does. All right. We'll see what the market does. All right, let me just look. I want to look at something real quick to see if there's any other news here that I am not looking at yet. Nope, not yet, not yet. Okay. Let's look at. We have that. Now, let's look at the juice. See if the juice has got anything for us as far as risk. I'm just trying to see if anything to note. Well, we got, well, let's see. Fed Collins, soon it would be appropriate to begin easing policy. He was said, okay. Nothing really here. Now look, I didn't see this in the other thing. It says 8 a.m. Fed Bostic speaking. Fed Bostic speaks at 9 a.m. Fed Powell speaks at 10, and there's like a little link here. And then you just got Fed Harker, Fed Goolsby. So a ton of Fed speak today. Ton of Fed speak today. All right, now let's look at some news here. No, you know what? There's nothing there. Let me go to here in the front. Maybe there's something else here that I didn't see. Not really. All right, we're gonna go to upgrades, downgrades. Let's go to upgrades. We got Billy. Okay, we got BJ's. We got Hawaiian Electric. That's Hawaiian Electric was setting off. Lyft got an upgrade from reduced to neutral. Roku, there's why Roku's moving. Got neutral, went from neutral to a buy. Snowflake, like I said, got an upgrade, but it's like from a reduce to a hold. But it got an upgrade and a price target from 119 to 121. So it's not the big thing at all. All right. So downgrades. Baidu downgraded. Let's see here. Las Vegas Sands. That's why that's hurting. Downgraded from a buy to a neutral. All right. Peloton downgraded from overweight to neutral. All right. Initiations. I don't think there's nothing of important there. Nope. Price targets. Let's go to price target changes. And we'll go to target raises first. Zoom, target raised from 71 to 75. Workday, there's that workday. Bunch of target raises, okay? Bunch of target raises. There's Ross, target raises 162 to 180, 170 to 180. Intuit, target raised. Let's see here. Kava, target raised from 100 to 120, from 105 to 125. Burlington Stores, target raised. Let's see here. And that's about it. Target lowered now. Let's go to target lowers. Workday, target interesting. Got a bunch of target raising, target lower. Ulta Beauty, target lowered. Interesting. Ulta Beauty, target lowered. Let's see what else. BJ's, target lowered. That's it. That's it. I think that's all we're going to talk about there. And I think that's it. I'm wrapping that up. Now, earnings wise, I believe Kava reported, but I don't have that picture up, so we're just going to move on to the daily charts. All right, move on to daily charts, and we'll look at what happened yesterday, right, and put it into perspective, right? Got to put things into perspective. Okay, structure. Structure is king, always, not price action. Okay, price action. Don't get me wrong, very important, obviously, but structure's king. Okay, structure's king. So let's look at this together. This is the SPY on the daily. We'll zoom in, of course. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now let's look at what we did yesterday. Now, it was a pretty nasty little sell-off, but where did we come? We went right down to last week's highs. Now look what we have, folks. Balance. Remember I talked about that yesterday? I said even if we sold off, we might be making a nice little balance low here. Well, that's what we did. 555. That's your balance low. Now this consolidation is getting ready and queuing up for the next move. Now, could that be down? Sure. The momentum's on the bull side though, and all-time highs is 565.16. Okay. Now we have shorts here, shorts here. What happens today if Powell's is a dove? All right. And right now we're at 559.50. Let's call it 559.55. 559.55. 559.55. Right here. We're right in the mid of yesterday's session. Like I said, 50% retracement of yesterday, which is a horrible location. You don't want to be in the middle of this range. Okay, it's just garbage. But that's where we're at. Okay, let's look at the live look of futures. Look at that consolidation. Beautiful, beautiful. Because in futures, look, here you go, shorties right here, shorties right here, shorties right here. And like I said, what if we just come up and go wham? 57.21.25 is all-time highs in futures. So this is queuing up, folks. Queuing up. Energy is queuing up. Okay, remember, I'm talking like this because the momentum is on the bull side. I mean, how can you not say it isn't? Okay. Now, let's go to Qs. Let's look what the Qs did. Let's look what the Qs did. All right, now Qs. Now look, what'd they do? They actually breached into last week's range right here. There's last week's highs. You hit, what'd you hit? 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average. And look, it also hit the lows of this candle basically too. All right? Nothing to see here. Now, if we were still here, oh boy. But where are we? 470. Let's call it 479. That's where we're at. 479. Right here. About close to the midpoint of the session. Okay, close to the midpoint of the session. All right. Now, if we were here, I'd be like, oh boy, that's not good. But we're not. We got Powell speaking. So people with de-risk. All right. Let's look at the live look. Now, what I've been saying is, let me just say this. We can be looking at, now we reached this resistance that I talked about right here. 484, 45, right? The next one is 47 right here. Right. Then I said we got a gap. Right. And you could go all the way up to 493. 493 might be a monster move to make. Okay. We are not as close to the all-time highs as the SPY is. Let's look at futures together. Okay, let's look at futures together. Coiling up. Look at this. Coiling up very nicely. Above the 50-day moving average. Got all these shorties here, just like in the ES. Right? Now look, you look to the left. You have resistance here. I would think we would probably push through that. And we'd probably at least try this level right here, which was support at one point. 2000, what is that? 203.69 about. We'll have to see. Like I said, we all kind of know they're gonna cut. I mean, all signs are pointing to it's just how much quarter point, half point. What are we talking about here? We all know that, but you just want to hear it out of Powell's mouth, right? So anyway, I think it's time for our triple headed. Let's do that. Let's look at that 10-year yield. Yeah, okay. Crude's pulling back on me, which is expected. That's expected. Okay. So 10-year yield. What do we got? We have 10-year yield is down 0.57. You can see right here. All right. We're just in a range. I mean, maybe Powell says something today. It either lowers yields or it raises them back up. I don't know, but that is um, first head of that monster. All right. Let's go to the next one. That would be your dollar. And that dollar is trying to save itself. Okay, you got that swing low I talked about here, and it's kind of in a range now. Same thing, right? In a range, waiting for Powell, probably. Okay, waiting for Powell. Now the VIX had a spike yesterday a little bit. All right, maybe we zoom in on this because this is throwing this 65 VIX. Jesus. All right, let's look at this. All right, so had a little rise up. What did we go up to yesterday? 18, 18. Like I said, volume finally picked up a little bit yesterday. This morning, still the volume's So, um, but we're still at a decent VIX. Like I said, 16 VIX is a 1% expected move, plus or minus in the S&P 500. Okay. Um, yeah, that's about it. That's all I want to talk about there. All right. That's all I want to talk about there. And I think we're ready for what do we? The main event, right? It's where all the magic happens. All the magic happens. All right. Where does it happen? Oh, this stuff all moved around on me somehow. Let's go to boom. All right. All right. Let's talk about our structure. That's what we always go for. Not sure if G-Man's here, Rosita. Not sure who's in here with me today. Um, if you're new, hopefully, welcome. All right, let's look at this together. G-Man, there you go. There you go. Um, all right, let's look at structure. Let me get my trusty little marker out. G-Man, I'm just curious. A question for you. Just to, just some like I guess some research for myself here. Did you Were you a profile guy, market profile, volume profile before you found my analysis, or were you already a profile guy and just um, I guess like wanted to expound on your knowledge of it? I'm just curious because I know it's probably hard to look at this and be like, "Ooh, I like this guy, what he's talking about," because it's hard to understand it. Take your time answering it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about structure, but I was just curious if you were a profile guy previous to me. Ah, okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about it. Here's price. Here's the most traded price of the week. I could pretty much do a mic drop right here on the most traded price of the week. Um, but we won't do that. But price is right here, top of the range of the overnight session. Okay, let's look at our profile. Now, what do you think of this, G-Man? What do you think of that profile? That's a beautiful bell curve. That's a beautiful bell curve. Because we are in balance, folks. Okay? We have balance. Yes. Just like I talked about yesterday, right? I said if we lost this right here, it would be a little fleshy flush, right? And I said we could make a balance here. So here's our value area, 70% of trading volume, and we're right in the middle of it, right here. Perfect for de-risking, for what Powell's going to say. Okay? So we could stay in this, but with Powell talking, we could break out of it. Okay? Now, we know where we're above. Now, here we go. Here's how you tell my structure, and we'll go into the crude in a second to show you as well. Okay? This is the most traded price of the month, the rolling month, right here, 55.60. That has more importance of it to me than the most traded price of the week. Because in the macro sense, if we stay above this, I'm going to be bullish. The market is bullish. Below this, it's bearish. Okay? The most traded price of the week has importance, but it's not as important or strong as the most traded price of the month, right? So I was talking about we possibly might hit this yesterday, but we didn't. We're above it, right? So that just tells me bulls are in control. Right there. It's all I got to look at. Forget about price action. It's all I got to know. Hey, are we above the most traded price of the month? Oh, yeah, we are. Where's the most traded price of the week? Oh, yeah, we're right there. Okay? That's all you got to worry about. All right, now, we're at a horrible place. All right, so look at the highs yesterday. That's not the high. High. Look at the lows. All right. This is pretty bearish usually. The most traded price of the day was down here at the lows. That's usually bearish. Okay. However, we have news today. We have not news, but we have like Powell talking. So we're over here now. Okay. So in the middle of the range, there's the 50%. There's the midpoint of yesterday. It's just you can't get any more perfect to just sit and wait for Powell. Okay. Sit and wait for Powell. Now, what I believe will happen before Powell, we probably will go like this or this. We'll test something. I don't think we just chill here. We'll get a quick move somewhere. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's look at inventory. Let's look at inventory because today it is important. Here's the open. There's almost no short activity. It's all long. 100% net long. Okay? 100% net long. At the top of the range. Okay? So what I would tell you right now, you don't want to come back through this price. And you don't want to come back through the overnight most traded price. And then look what you have here. The most traded price of yesterday's right up with the overnight low. That makes it weak with the close as well. Okay, so if we push through that, if we push back, we're probably going to test this. And you push through that, you're probably going to revisit yesterday's lows. Okay, but you need to establish price over this level. Okay, now when you're in this kind of balance here, you can't cross this most traded price because if you're in balance, you can cross it. You're going to go back and forth. In a non-balanced market, you kind of don't want to cross it a lot. You want to use it as a line in the sand. Okay, so that's a level. All right, let's see what else we have. We know 50% retracement is right here, so it's right in the middle. I'm trying to just see what else we have. We broke this week high yesterday, so that's not in the mix anymore. We do have an unfilled gap right here. Unfilled gap above us. Just looking at our levels. We got the most traded price down here of the month, 55.60. It's not, we have supply, new form supply here. But we're in the middle of the model right now. Like I said, we're probably going to test here or test this demand zone. Some this is going to be an inside out move because you don't stay here. You're going to do this and come back, or do this and come back for Powell. Okay, that's what's most likely going to happen. All right, so now that we got our levels, right, now that we got our levels, then we can just talk about scenarios, right? Now, once this is going to be a little difficult today, just because I don't know what he's going to say, right? It's not a typical day. It's Friday. But we got to talk about the levels, right? It's all about the levels. So we already know we got a week low here, overnight low, most traded price of yesterday, the close of yesterday, and I'd say here demand and RTH low. Bulls have to defend this, and it's probably going to become a balance low. So if we come down here, I'm just going to be ready to be like, all right, let's see what we do. What do we do? What do we do if we do this? Come through this most traded price of overnight, take out these longs. Now remember, sometimes the market likes to take out new business before old business. So new business is the overnight longs. Definitely could take them out. And then what do you do if you come in here? Higher low, and then we can start to make a move. And then you could do this, find acceptance above this level, and try to go back up here. Okay? That's what I'd be really, really, really interested in. All right? Now, of course, what can we do too? We can do this and do this into this demand and then hold and do this as well. It's really all I'm looking at. Let's talk about the bear side. All right, we have supply here, so that's kind of an easy thing. All right, easy. Right here, start of supply. All right, so what happens if, now there's a couple bearish things here. All right, we have overnight long, 100% net long. Right, that's always primed to take care of that new business for old business. So let's just say, I'll go with number one scenario. Let's just say we do this and we go right into supply. And let's say supply, you get wicked out, you get lower high. Well, you're going to test the most traded price of the week. But let's say this is bearish. You take that out, and then you're going to challenge the most traded price of the overnight in this demand zone. Okay, that's a test for the bull. Now, if you take that out, okay, you're going to take out the longs from the overnight, and you're going to test that at week low, the overnight low, and the most traded price of yesterday, the most trades of yesterday. Okay, if you break that, you're going to go into this demand and the RTH low. Now, I know I keep, these are all gold signposts, all right? And you got demand here, okay? I'm not saying all this happens, but you have to be cognizant of this 100% net long, okay? And depending on what Powell says, all right? If we blow through this demand, you're going to test 55.60. That is the test. You could just rip off of it, or you go under it, hold. That is not good. And there's gap and single prints below. That is no bueno. Okay? So, gave you that. Now, I'll give you a conservative one. We could do this, rip down, hold. You could also, boom, take out this and just test this, and then that's it, and we wait for Powell. We do that. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Let's move over to the NASDAQ. And then we'll look at crude, just to show you what I saw in crude. All right, here's our NASDAQ. We're going to look at structure. I think I forgot to do the scenario graphic. Yes, I did. Anyway. All right. Let's look at this together. Here's a profile. So we got value areas starting right here, and we got boo, and we got excess to the top. All right. Not as beautiful bell curve, but pretty much kind of is. All right. Now a little different. All right. We came into this demand zone and bounced right out of it. Okay. We have some single prints left from yesterday. let me fix these because this is not accurate. Let me fix that single print right there. All right. All right. Little different, right? We're not like in the middle like the ES, right? Now look at this. This is a little different. Most traded price of the week is here, 198.50. Price is below that. Most traded price of yesterday, price is below that. So the structure in the Nasdaq's a little different. It's a little, I guess, weaker. Okay, you're not at that key level. Here's the midpoint, 50% retracement of yesterday, 197.84. We are below that. So just structurally, it's not as strong, right, as the ES. Okay, now another thing to note. Look at this area right here that we just took out. These longs here, this support, they got ripped down here. Now, if you look to the left, I talked about this weak low right here. That saved the market right there yesterday. That weak low. The flush happened because of this and because we went under this big level. That's why that happened. Okay, not a surprise. Now, big session here. Highs, lows. Here's our overnight high. Here's our overnight low. We're inside yesterday's big session. Here's the midpoint. Okay. Now, very important again, inventory. That's the only short activity, this much long activity. We're 100% net long in the overnight. 100% net long. And at the top of the range. Right? Begging for new business to be taken care of before old business. Now, what could happen, right, with that? You could do this, and then what happens if we go through the most traded price of the overnight and we go into this demand? That could correct some of these longs, and you could push off here, or you get really corrected and you push off this demand. That's just like how you have to look at it. Very frothy overnight. Doesn't mean it has to do it. Okay, just showing you. Right now, I want to see if there's any. There is a weak low here. So it's the close of yesterday and the overnight low, but it's in demand. Okay, so that's a weak low. And what are we talking about here? Not much to talk about there. Single prints up here. We got all this. Nasdaq just moves like a monster. All right, Nasdaq moves like a monster. Now, all the way up here yesterday, I don't know if you could see it, but it literally ticked into this supply that's never been tested and literally sold off. It went opened here, boop, hit that supply and sold off. Okay? So, let's get into analyzing this, okay? I already have certain scenarios already come into my head. So let's talk about the Nasdaq. All right, I'm going to talk about long, the bull scenario. Okay, and just like I was talking about before, we know we are 100% net long. I'm expecting a little corrective activity. Okay, it doesn't have to happen. Okay, however, if it's beautiful here when you're 100% net long and you're at the top of the range, that means everybody's just screaming in profit from the overnight. And overnight hands are weak hands. They're not the big boys. They're not the big boys. Okay? So I could see it push up, maybe even to this 50%, and do one of these. Now, this is the most traded price of the overnight. Okay? So there's longs here. This is the POC of the overnight. There's longs here. So I think if we go through that, these weak hands start liquidating their positions even up to here. Now, in this demand, you'd have to see what happens here. Do we get higher lows? If we do, this could possibly put us right up to 198.50 for Powell. You could also get a bigger correction. Okay, come through the most traded price of the overnight, come through the POC and this demand, right, and test this weak low, the close, and overnight lows. You could hit, and now you're in demand as well. Now this is a used demand, so it's a little weaker. But you could also do this, pop up, higher low, and I don't know if you make it all the way up here, but maybe you make it up to here. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for the bull scenario. Now you could reverse engineer that when we talk about the short scenario. Okay, now here's the 50% mid. What does that also line up with? Look to the left. That's the support we broke. That's the support we broke. So people might want to re-engage here. Okay, so put that line here. All right, now reverse engineer what I just said for the long. If we come up here and go boop, come back through the open, lower high, you're going to test this overnight overnight VPOC. All right, you're going to test it. Now, like I said, could be supportive, but we're talking about bear scenario. You come through that, those longs got to liquidate. Then you go in as demand. You might get a little pop. All right, you might get a little pop. But if you rip through that POC, there's another high volume node here. You're going to go down, and you're probably going to test the week low, the close in the overnight low. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, do you test yesterday's lows? I don't know. I don't know. Right there. Okay. Now, I don't think this necessarily happens before Powell. I don't know. I got to put it out there. It might happen after Powell. Maybe he's hawkish. Okay. But if you take out this weak low, I want to show you this important low here. So you got a low here, a low here, a low here. So it's very susceptible to get broken. And then you got another weak low around here, around 194.45. Okay. Can get pretty ugly. Okay. Get pretty ugly. That's kind of what I'm interested in. Because, as shorts, okay? Because what if the market does this? Whoop. Now, yeah, possibly, I have to put this in there. Most traded price of the week. If you get rejected there, you could correct. So I'll put that in there. You could. But if you make it all the way up there, and maybe you take it up here, well, then we're gonna wait for Powell. I'm not gonna be very interested. Even if we make it up to supply, well, that's kind of bullish in a way. So that's all I am talking about. Okay, and I think that wraps it up. Now we could look at crude just so I can show you what I'm seeing in crude. If you're interested. Now, crude just opened. Okay, crude just opened. Now, very important in crude here. I could even probably blow this up a little more. This is crude. Okay, I'll go over this quickly because I don't know if you're interested in this, but I just thought it would be interesting for you guys to see this. Ooh. All right. Let's just change it to white. All right, so yesterday, okay, I want to show you guys something. We came down here and bottomed in crude. Then in the overnight session, right here, I got long around here. My stop loss at the lows here, and I was like, this could be a bottom in crude. Okay, and then crude opened up, came down to here, and then pushed. Now look at these levels, right? You guys know what these are. Most traded price of the month's here. Most traded price of the week is here. You can see the large volume nodes here, right? To the right. You can see them right here. These double prong looking things. Okay. Now, look where crude had a problem. Month to date VWAP. This line right here. Okay. That's very understandable. I expect it to get some kind of force here. You also got like this resistance here, but you broke that resistance, right? But month to date VWAP's powerful. That's why I have it on my charts, okay? And basically what I love about it is this is the month of August. Now with the month of August, okay, this means that when we take this, and I believe we will take this, when we take this, now this box I don't show you guys a lot, this is the most traded price of the rolling year in crude. Up above that is the most traded price of this year. So I'm expecting crude to go into this area and slow down. Because think about this, guys. This is ultimate balance. Remember when I talk about ultimate balance? Well, now crude pushed up above it and it's holding. So the most trades happened in this area in the most month in the last week. If you go and you go above this and you start holding, all right, and you break that month to day VWAP, every short in here is going to be in pain and you're going to go up to there, okay? And now what will anchor VWAPs is it's like right there. This is the average seller of this month. Right here. It's the average seller, the volume weighted average price of the month. So if you take this out, the average seller for the month of August will be underwater if you take that. And you're going to see a move go whoop right into this area. Now, I would love to go to 80, but I think more realistic, we'll probably chill here. Okay. Now, does this have to happen? No, it doesn't have to happen. I mean, I'm long from way down here. So I'm expecting, I mean, I would like to add to it if it hold here. But right now it's kind of inside. And you notice the most traded price of the overnight right here and lines up with the VWAP. See, price is starting to come up right now. If you take this out, okay, because you have some shorts in here, you're going to propel it up. So if you want to watch crude, watch it. You know, like I said, I'm up over 200% on it. And I'm looking to get more. I'm hoping to add to it. But who knows? I don't know what's going to happen here. There was single prints right here. See this single prints? They could correct. Okay, let me even open up that more for you guys. Okay, so you guys get a real clear look at crude. Okay, so now I want to show you guys one more thing that happened yesterday. See these single prints right here? Well, I was long in here. See how the market ripped up through them? It corrected those single prints. Okay, now in the overnight session right here, see it had trouble with this most traded prices yesterday. In the overnight session, we opened down here and look what it did. Single prints, and then a little bit and then single prints. Boom. Big move. Big move. Now if these hold, these single prints, this should be bullish. Take out that month to date VWAP and you start making your move. Okay, look what we have here in the past. Single prints right here. You guys can see them. These are single prints. Now look here. We kind of almost took those out all. Not all of them. Okay, not all of them. But it's looking good. It's looking good. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. Just showing you how my trading system or how I have my chart set up works for anything. Works for anything. All right. So everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully enjoyed my content. I gotta still do my gamma levels, so you can subscribe and set alert if you can. If you enjoyed it, you're new, give me a thumbs up or like. All right. You can always follow me on X. That where Gonzo719 is my handle, and you can follow me on TikTok. All right. That's Gonzo719 Trader. Now I post reels there. You can check out how I day trade, right? What I look at, right? This is macro pictures, kind of what I'm showing you now. But when I day trade, that's why I do the reels. Okay, that's why I do the reels. All right, so everybody, it's Friday. Powell's talking. Have a great day. See everybody next week.